Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's such a weird thing because when I hit go live, I always have to remember that whatever is streaming live to you is actually what happened a few seconds before I went live. And I just always realized that can't be attractive. Like, what am I doing? I don't really remember at this point. But hi, hello. We have Ange Wished in here. We have Angel, Mark, Jinkies, Jess. Hey, what's up? I'm so glad that you're here. Um, how's everyone doing? Is your Tuesday okay? In my house, Tuesday has now officially, because it's the second week in a row, it has become Trader Joe's pizza night. So I'm on the way home from work because I know I don't have a lot of time between work and the live stream. And I am not someone to miss a meal. Let me just tell you that right now. And so I've been going to Trader Joe's like right after work, grabbing a frozen pizza, bringing it home, cooking it. Travis and I eat it, watch like one episode of something, or not episode, we watch like a YouTube video of something, and then I come in here and hop on. And it's working it. It's working. Okay. Um, let's see. I'm so glad that we're talking about Jennifer's body today. Hello, Dan Breaker. Hello, Larry, Scuba Steve, Jade, Darling Darkness, Ollie, Andreas. You know what else I'm thinking about right now? How the first time, and I can't remember, it was sometime over the summer. It was either like August 1st or something like that, was like our first live stream here. And I remember I was just like, what if no one shows up? What if there are exactly 0 people watching on the live stream? And I was like, I guess I'll just talk. I guess I'll just talk and like people can watch it later or like blah blah blah. And somehow at that first live stream when we talked about sleepaway camp, by the way, people were there, and now we're having more and more people, and I just think it's just so nice because I mean the reason I love YouTube so much is because it has been this amazing way for me to find people that like the same stuff I do. In my real everyday life, like Lauren is really one of the only people that likes horror movies to the extent. I mean, people are like interested in horror, like for sure. But about being addicted to the genre, not that many people. So it's really, really nice that I have this community of people on here that I can come and hang out with, and we can watch the same movies and talk about them every week. It's like my dream come true. Like, truly, my dream come true. So, let's see. Okay, great. So everyone's already in here just saying they really like the movie. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I thought maybe we had already done it, and I was concerned, but I did do a video on it back a while ago. I think I called it Eating Boys Keeps You Pretty or something. But this is one of my truly favorite horror movies of all time, and I've watched it many, many times. And as I'm sure most of you know, this is like sort of notorious. When the movie first came out in 2009, it got a lot of hate. And most people say the hate comes from a confusing marketing campaign that really marketed this movie as a Megan Fox is really hot movie and nothing else. Like nothing, no understanding of what else was going on. And then people entered this really weird movie that's like funny and strange and dark, and the humor, like everything is just like really over the top. But you have all these super talented people making it. And so when I first watched it, because I watched it well after it came out, I would say while I was in college. So sometime maybe 2012, 13, maybe I saw it for the first time. And I didn't really have any expectation about it. And so I just saw it and was like, what is this magical, incredible movie that like deals with everything I love about horror and like being a teenager and like women and like all this stuff in one movie, and is also really, really funny. And I was like, oh wow, thank God. And so now I've watched it like a million times. But I can maybe understand if people's expectation was so different when they went into the theater, maybe them just being disappointed because it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. But I think there's also a thing of we've come a long way, I would say, even in the last 10 years. Um, if you don't know, Jennifer's Body did just have their 10-year anniversary in 2019. And 10 years ago, it's hard to say. I don't want to say that it was. I think we have come a long way in accepting that women love horror movies and can write badass horror movies and can direct them. And I think there was a lot of hate in this movie because it was written and directed by women, starring women, talking about things, showing true women on screen. And I think people hadn't really seen it before, especially in a horror movie. And I think it messed people up. And they like, reacted negatively towards it instead of like trying to understand it. And that's such a bummer for me because when I hear Karan Kusama, Diablo Cody, Megan Fox talk about this movie and talk about like when the movie came out, like the death threats that these women were getting for making a movie. It's just outrageous to me. It makes me so sad. And I also think about times, even in the last couple of years, when I've like recommended something on Twitter or something that's like a very female heavy-handed movie, that people are resistant to it or want to be really aggressive about it. And that really bums me out because I'm just like, I don't know if it's this like, I don't think it's really people hating women. I think it's just like a resistance to change in who is making their movies or something. I don't know how I'm getting so like intense right now. Jennifer's Body just makes me feel so intense because I just think it's a really great movie. But and I also wonder. So I already talked about the new Black Christmas on my channel, and though that movie, I think outside of political things has like issues as a movie. I don't think it's a perfect movie. I don't think it's the same thing as Jennifer's Body, where it's gonna get a lot of hate now and a lot of love later. I think it's, but I will say what was interesting to me about the Black Christmas movie is it felt like a very similar reaction to when Jennifer's Body came out, and of just people feeling really, really aggressive about a movie made by women. I just think it's interesting. But like I said, Black Christmas has problems, so I don't think it's exactly the same thing. But yeah. Anyways, so Jinky Jess just said something that I also want to mention. That Megan Fox is super underrated. I freaking love Megan Fox because multiple reasons. But I will tell you a quick story. What she, I can't remember if she told this, which interview it was that she talked about this. But how Karan Kusama on the set of Jennifer's Body was like the first director. And by the way, this is after she did Transformers and everything. The first director to be like, what do you think about this character? What do you think Jennifer would do here? And she as Megan Fox has been a very like I think open person in the film community about calling people out, even a really long time ago. I remember she like calling out the Transformers director for being super sexist and awful to her on set and treating her literally like a piece of meat that doesn't matter and not like an actual actor and all these things. And the way she talks about working with Karan Kusama on set is just like, it's very beautiful, and I love that collaboration happened. But it also made me so sad for Megan Fox because she, before that, had never been treated like an actress. She was just treated like a hot lady that should stand there and not talk and didn't matter. And I just think that sucks. But I also love Megan Fox because she's a total weirdo in like my kind of favorite way, where in the same way in which I consider all of you my weirdos. She had like a really interesting upbringing. She was like she was brought up in this like really intense church environment with like where people were doing like exorcisms and like people were talking in tongues, like that kind of church, like really wild stuff. She is like very interested in the paranormal. She's very interested in aliens. She has a show on I think it's the Travel Channel. I watched a couple episodes while I was home, um, using my parents, cable or whatever. Um, but she has a really fun show on there. That and the first interesting things in history. I don't know if they all have to do with women, but the episode that I watched had to do with female Vikings and how like female Vikings we're just finding out now that they were warriors and they fought in wars just like the men did. And I don't know. So those are things that like she's pursuing actively. Like she wanted to do that show. I don't know. I just think she's a really cool person that really didn't get, I don't know, the credit she deserved, I guess. Okay. Oh, on History Channel. Ben just said it's on History Channel. Okay, thank you. I couldn't remember for some reason. But I haven't watched the rest of the episodes. But if it ever comes to like a streaming service or whatever, I want to see. Also, thank you, my proud weirdos, Ollie, Mark, Angel. Thank you. Hell yeah. Okay, so now I guess let's talk about more of the meat of the movie. I'm sorry I have not talked about Amanda Seyfried yet, or Seyfried. I never know how to say it. She is also incredible in this movie, and of course, like Jennifer's body. Jennifer. We're gonna talk about Megan Fox first, but I do want to also just note that I think Amanda Seyfried is like an insane actor. To think about like her doing this movie and then doing like Mean Girls and then like moving into like more like leading lady style stuff. She is like has a really wide range and can do a lot of different kind of characters. And even just in this movie, like to see her how she starts the film to how she ends the film is amazing. I think she's so talented. Um, but okay, let's go ahead and start from the beginning. So we do open up with Amanda Seyfried in Seyfried. Darling Darkness says Seyfried. Okay, I'll try that. Amanda Seyfried. Sorry, Amanda. So we come upon her. Her name is Needy, or it's Anita, but Needy for, cutesies. And she is in some sort of women's mental prison something. Like it's clear that she is in, it's not, I don't know if it's like an asylum, but it's also like sort of feels like a prison, so I don't know exactly which one it is. But she is in there. She talks about how she's like getting all these letters from people telling her to find Jesus, all these things, and you're sort of like, what is going on? And then she gets to the cafeteria and she talks about the fact that on her chart, it says she's a kicker. And then at a certain point, she like kicks a guard like across the room. It's like freaking wild. And it's just like, what is this character? What is going on? And then it cuts to her like telling us the story of how she got there. Okay. So, I guess she starts off just being like, and we were very normal kids in high school. And we're talking about Needy and Jennifer. They're best friends. They've been best friends since the sandbox, as they say, or as literally they say. I've never heard anyone else say that. And they are a strange match. Jennifer is this super duper hot, seemingly popular, even though you never really see her like hanging out with other people besides Needy. Not like really. Seemingly popular, is like a cheerleader. On the top of her game. She was like a snowflake queen in the 10th grade. And I guess now they're seniors, I think. And then Needy is the total opposite. She's like very Oh, and sorry, I should have said Jennifer is very outgoing. She is very hyper aware of her sexuality and how she can use it as a tool. She is just extremely confident, all these things. And then, and Jinky Jess, by the way, we are going to get to talking about some of the best lines. So if you guys have favorite lines, save them, because I do want to like have a section where you guys just throw it all in the chat at once, because I want to read them. Because I agree, it's some of the greatest lines of all time. But not yet. So, blah, blah, blah. Needy is very shy. She is very I don't want to say concerted sexually, because she's not. She does end up having sex with her boyfriend in this movie, but she's just more timid. She's more reserved. Though she does have a boyfriend, Chip. They're a very cute couple. Chip is like such a high school boy. It's like insane to me. Like, honestly, I can't remember that actor's name right now. I'm gonna pull it up. I have my IMDb ready. Johnny Simmons. He, like, I think about it. When I rewatched this last night, and like I've seen it so many times, it's just like it's just nothing but joy now. But yeah, he is just such the epitome of a teenager in this. Oh, he was also in Perks of Being a Wallflower. I don't even remember his character in that. Weird. And then he was also in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Yeah, he's done some stuff. Most recently, he was in Girl Boss, which I didn't watch, though I did read the book, and the book's very good. Okay. So, anyways, and these are just like they seem just like totally normal cheerleaders. Oh yeah, and hi Ashnier, how you doing? Um, and also Rat Whisperer, Slasher in Suits. Did I already say hi to you? I don't think I did. We have Ryan. Okay, Ryan, your homework from Horror Movie Club, you have to watch this movie. I'm gonna spoil everything about it for you now, but it will blow your mind because I I will explain why as we go along. Okay. I'm gonna die. Sorry. Rat Whisperer just said Chip is the classic high school boyfriend you date before you realize you're gay. That is so good. I can't even take it. That's so good. And that's something else we're going to talk about a little bit about Needy and Jennifer's sexuality and things like that. But as the movie starts, like one of the first interaction that we see Needy and Jennifer have, Jennifer's like doing her cheer whatever routine with the flag, color guard. I don't know. And which in my high school, cheerleading and color guard were two very separate things, but in this high school, apparently they're one and the same. Um, and Needy's like waving, they're waving to each other. It's this like really cute moment where they're like, I love you, I love you. And then this girl behind her is just like, you guys are like lesbos. Like she says like something, I can't remember the quote. It's much sillier than that. But she basically says like, you guys are totally gay for each other. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it's like immediately right off the bat, it's like this idea of female friendship, right? Which is really, I always find really fascinating. And you even see stuff about it, like, not even just in movies, just on Twitter, where it's this thing about female friendship that is so close. Females, I feel like they can really be so much more open with each other than male friendships tend to be, and so and female friendships can also be incredibly toxic, especially at this age where people are trying to learn about themselves and their own power and their own sexuality and all these things. And so there's a lot of intense feelings going on. Like being a teenage girl from experience, wild ride. It is a lot. You're constantly emotional. You're constantly worried about what other people think of you. You're constantly. It's like your brain is like short wiring constantly. But then there's also this thing in our society where it's like much more acceptable for women to hold each other's hands, or to make out at parties for male entertainment, or like whatever those things are, that may or may where the women may or may not be gay, unclear. And we can talk about that a little bit more about this movie, but it's like somehow more socially acceptable, and also because of that, it just makes these like blurry lines around female friendship that are really, really interesting to me. Especially in your teenage years, because you're like, what do I feel about anything? I don't know. I have body parts, and I just noticed for the first time, and I'm freaking out. Oh, to be young. But anyways, so yes. So basically the big event of the movie that really starts everything off is that Jennifer wants to go to see this band from New York. By the way, I'm in Brooklyn right now, so that literally, I get it. They want to see this band come play their only bar in town, which Jennifer lovingly calls the Club, which I find just hilarious in small town lingo, just so funny. But they go and they watch this band play, and this scene is great for multiple reasons. First of all, Chris Pratt is in this movie. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but Chris Pratt is in this movie. He's in literally only the bar scene, and I'm assuming he dies there. I don't know. But he's there. And then we have Adam Brody coming in. Okay, Adam Brody is like the leader of this band. They're so, oh my god, they're so MySpace. I cannot take it. I think Jennifer even says like she saw they were playing the show from MySpace. And damn it, I was a MySpace fiend, and I think that's also just something about this movie that really speaks to me, if you will, because even though I didn't see this movie in high school, which I really wish I had, I was a sophomore in high school when this movie came out, and at that point, MySpace was like, I mean, kind of almost done, wasn't it? I think I was more using MySpace like in um, middle school and early high school, I'm pretty sure. I really can't remember when Facebook started. Does it matter? I don't know. But the big thing about MySpace, which I feel like Facebook has never truly gotten to replicate in a helpful way, is the band pages. And you would like get obsessed with these different bands, and like it was a way for people to find small bands for like the first time. And so they're this indie band, Low Shoulder. It's like I think they even showed the sign that says Low Shoulder or something at some point, like a road sign that says Low Shoulder. But they're coming to play, and they have bad intentions, I'll say. And also in this scene we have Jennifer sort of teaching Needy how to get what she wants. Jennifer really wants attention from this band really, really badly. She wants them to think she's hot. She wants to talk to them. She wants to like, you know, she wants to be a groupie for the night. She wants to have a good time. Nothing ever happens in this town. She wants to have fun. And Needy is obviously much more cautious. She's like really listening to their conversations, and she hears them say that they think that Jennifer's a virgin, and why that would be exciting to them. And so she is immediately mad by this, and is just like, just so I think she says, just so you know, she is a virgin, so like she wouldn't waste her time on like idiots like you, or she says something to that effect. And then when she tells Jennifer that, Jennifer's like, I'm not even a backdoor virgin. And she goes on to say that she had to miss school after the day that she lost that part of her virginity to sit on ice all day, which I found very funny. And there's so many. Oh, they also have that part where Jennifer. I also have no notes today. Once again. So I am just talking. So if this goes on rambling and too long, I am so sorry. I'm just freaking talking. Okay. So there's also this part where Jennifer grabs Needy's boobs and says like, this is your power. Like this is how you get what you want, basically. And I was just like, you also learn that in high school. It's like you learn that when you get boobs, it's like you have a new form. Like when you become a woman, you have these magical powers that you didn't even know you had before. And it's just like so interesting. Yes. So, and yes, Ben said what I was basically trying to say, how on MySpace you could literally play the songs on the page, which you cannot do on Facebook. You have to like link to a Bandcamp and go to a different page. As someone in a band, I find this very annoying. Like I wish even Instagram had like a way to like feature a song or like something. I don't know. It's like all these different apps now that you have to like constantly go between, versus MySpace was like all in one. What a wonderful, simple time of the internet. Okay, so and so now we're at the big event. So they're playing the song, whatever. They're watching. Jennifer's like, "Wow, I love this." Needy's like, "I don't know." And then a fire breaks out. Okay, so this big fire happens. A bunch of people die. The place literally burns to the ground. Needy gets Jennifer out. They go out the bathroom window. They get out in time, but a lot of people in the place got trampled and suffocated to death. And look who made it out alive, the entire band. Interesting. And so immediately Adam Brody comes up to Jennifer, starts feeding her this drink. Like this is like the most like rape what's the word I'm looking for? Metaphor I've ever seen in my life. It's literally like him feeding her this drink that she doesn't know what's in it, and she's like stunned and scared because she just survived a fire. And he's like, what's happening? What's happening? And what's Adam Brody's name in this? I shouldn't keep calling him Adam Brody. Nikolai. So Nikolai is like, you have to come to my van. That's where you'll be safe. You have to go to the van. That's where you'll be safe. And Jennifer's like, okay, let's go to the van. She's just like in this daze. She's in this daze of what's just happened. She's has like these feelings of wanting to be liked by this boy. He's like saving her. She just wants to follow him. And so she does. She gets in the van and they drive away and Needy is left there. And it's such a sad thing because Needy knows something bad's gonna happen, but she like can't stop it because you're a freaking teenager and you don't know what to do ever. And so that's very stressful. And then Needy goes home and she calls Chip and she's like, there was this fire. I can't find Jennifer. We have to find her. We have to find her. We have to find her. And then Jennifer shows up at Needy's house. And this is one of my favorite parts of the movie because it is Megan Fox at her weirdest. She comes in and she looks like shit. She is like bloody and just dirty and like looks like she has been to hell and back, which she basically was. And she starts talking to Needy and they're in the kitchen. And I love the whole section where she like gets the rotisserie chicken out of the fridge. She's like eating the rotisserie chicken like a little gremlin. And then she projectile vomits this black goo everywhere that's like, I think Needy says it's like, what did she say? It's like a cross between needles and something else. I don't know. But she throws this stuff and then she gets Needy against a wall and like is like sniffing her neck like she's gonna eat her or kiss her, unclear. And then Jennifer runs away. She just gets out of there. And Needy's like, what the fuck? What just happened? I don't know. Like, Jennifer's alive, but she threw up all this stuff. And so Needy spends the night, wiping up all this bile off the ground and, like, crying. And even that part is so freaking funny when she's like, so basically, like, they show up to school the next day. Needy doesn't know what's happened still. Jennifer shows up looking her best. Like, she walks in, she freaking looks great. Her skin's glowing, her hair's glowing, all this stuff. And Needy's like, what the fuck happened? And Jennifer's like, what? What are you talking about? You're so dramatic. What are you talking about? And then it, like, cuts back to, like, Needy, like, weeping, crying while cleaning up all this black goo. And it's just, like, so freaking funny. And that's the thing. It's, like, stuff like that where it's, like, there's, like, a lot of dark stuff going on in this movie. And yet, it's, like, shot in this way that, like, keeps you laughing, which I think is really, really helpful. So they're back in school, and then basically this band Low Shoulder is kind of sold to be heroes at this point. And we still don't quite know what's happened, but they're sold to be heroes. This song that they play over and over again in this movie becomes like the song of the city, or not the city, like of the town or whatever. It's like what they're playing to sort of remember everyone that's died. The town gets a lot of attention from the media. All this kind of stuff is happening, which I think is also a really interesting thing about this movie is when they talk about the amount of attention the town gets and this sort of like victim fame. That's not the word. I think there's a better word for it, but basically like when something bad happens to you and you get a lot of attention for it, that does like give you a sense of like importance and worth that something big happened to you. And that sort of happens to this town a little bit. So they don't go into it too much. But everyone is like, this band saved our lives. This band is everything to us. Our town is now this tragedy and nothing about this town matters anymore except for this tragedy and this band. And it's just an interesting, it's sort of, I think they sort of touch on that as well in some of the Scream movies, particularly like the fourth one. It's an interesting thing, and you see it happen like especially right now, or not just right now, but for the last however many years when we're seeing all these horrifying school shootings, which is like incredibly upsetting to me. But you do see this where it's like a town becomes known for their tragedy, and like what does that do to a town? I always find that very, very fascinating. Okay, so from there, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any plot stuff, so I am gonna pull it up real quick because I don't want to miss. Okay. So basically, the next thing that happens is the first time we're gonna see Jennifer basically eat a boy. Um, so she goes up to the that's such a good shot too, man. It's like all so you see the football dude, I can't remember his name. It's like the captain of the football team. He's like standing at the end of the field and they do this like fast running zoom in shot with all this like beautiful green like coming towards him. And then Jennifer's right there. And Jennifer's like, I know your friend died. He thought we would be good together. She starts like seducing him, and is like, I'm gonna take you in the woods and you're gonna get lucky right now. And he's like, okay. And so he goes out there, and then they're out there, and all these like animals start surrounding them, and they're making out. And he's like, why are all these animals surrounding us? And she's like, I don't know. And then she like reveals this giant demon mouth and eats him and drinks his blood, and it is awesome. And I can't remember if it's this one. It might be the next kill where she's like literally just like drinking all the blood. It's just great. But then so then they find the body obviously, and now it's like no, that now this town has had this tragedy, and now we're also losing our quarterback or whatever. And it was just very very sad. And then yeah, I'm trying to remember when she starts to look like shit. There's a certain point where Jennifer starts to look really, really terrible. Like as bad as Megan Fox can look, I guess. And she's looking really rough. Her hair is like starting to like almost fall out. She's really pale, all these things. And then she decides she's gonna go on a date with this guy named Colin, who is the one of the goth emo kids of the school. I also love this character because the not that I was an emo kid, but I was sort of an emo kid. I'm sure you can't tell now by all the colors that I wear in my daily life. But I was a bit of an emo kid back in the day, and let's see, this actor's name was Kyle Gallner. He looked very familiar to me, but I don't recognize most of his credits here. But I think he did like something else as a teenager that. Wait, what? Oh no, he was in the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's really bad. Don't watch it if you haven't. You don't need to. Okay. Anyways, but she decides to go on a date with this guy. And Needy's like, since when are you into Colin? And she's like, leave me alone. And so then we have this great split scene, okay? And it's not split scene, like it's not like a Carrie De Palma split scene, but it's this thing where we're having Needy have sex with her boyfriend for the first time, okay? And then we have Jennifer in this empty house with Colin seducing him. And once again, she's not looking so hot. She's looking a little rough, like we don't know what's wrong with her. And then basically, oh, goodbye, and I hope you feel better. I'm sorry if you're sick. I'm starting to feel a little sick myself. But hopefully we'll all make it. And don't get the coronavirus or whatever. Alright, so yeah, split scene. Needy and her boyfriend having sex for the first time. And it's like you want to be really happy for Needy, right? Because Needy really loves her boyfriend, and like he loves her, and like yay them. And then we have Jennifer seducing Colin, and at a certain point, it's like as like the sex gets more intense, it's like Colin starts to realize Jennifer is a demon, and then Jennifer. And this happens a couple of times throughout the movie where Needy can sort of see what Jennifer's doing. They have this connection that's like so deep that she can sense when something's going on with Jennifer. Even early on in the film, she's like, oh, Jennifer's here. And Chip's like, how do you know? And then you hear Jennifer. And so we have that again, but it gets like worse and worse and worse. And so with this part, Needy, during her sex with her boyfriend, is literally watching Jennifer tear Colin to pieces and drink all of his blood, and like all the blood is like coming through Needy's ceiling, and it's a great scene. And then it ends with, I think, one of the most hilarious lines that is so teenage boy. It's so funny. He goes, because she's like screaming and like crying and freaking out, and he's like, "Ugh, was I too big?" She's like, ah, like, oh my god, like, so much stuff is going on right now, and all you can think about is your penis. Like, it's so teenage. I can't take it. So, oh, and hey, Mimi, what's going on? Oh, and Swifty McVeigh, what's going on? Okay, so after this, lo and behold, Jennifer looks fine again. And then Jennifer comes to Needy's house, and then we're gonna learn what happened to Jennifer when Low Shoulder took her away. So basically, we find out, and we get to watch the scene, and once again, it holds a strong mirror up to rape culture, I think. But basically, they took her out into the woods next to Devil's Kettle, which is the name of the town. I don't think I've said that yet. But Devil's Kettle is like named after that because of this waterfall, and the waterfall they don't know where it goes. The water like spirals down, and they don't know where it ends up. So they've thrown all this stuff down there, and it never resurfaces. They can't figure out like where this waterfall leads to, which is just kind of a fun little extra thing in the movie. But they basically lay her out, and it becomes clear they're going to sacrifice her to Satan so they can become a famous band. And it's like this thing where it's like so fucked up, but they also like have humor laid through it, where he's just like, do you know how hard it is to be an indie band these days? And it's just like, oh my god. But they're gonna sacrifice her, and they are convinced she's a virgin. And she's like pleading for her life, and it's very upsetting. Like she's so upset, and they say this spell or whatever, and then Adam Brody, sorry, what's his name? Nikolai, is such a jerk. Oh my god, he's like playing with Jennifer. Like he wants her to be scared. He's so gross in this, and is about to stab her, and then stops, and then starts saying the words to Jenny, I Got Your Number, and sings the song, Jenny, I Got Your Number, you know that song, and then stabs her. And it's just this thing of like this comedy of this song that we all know so well, like paired against this really horrifying thing that's happening, and it's just like, that is brilliant directing. Okay, so guess what? Jennifer's not a virgin, which we hear her talk about multiple times, but these guys are convinced she's a virgin, and so they sacrifice her. And because she's not a virgin, she doesn't die. She becomes permanently possessed by the devil. So basically, the exchange still happened, where Low Shoulder is still getting their fame and fortune, and that's why, I mean, everyone just starts to love them except for Needy, who is immune, and Jennifer, obviously. But Jennifer basically becomes a succubus. So, if you don't know what a succubus is, it is a demon creature who feeds on the flesh, and whenever she's not feeding, they basically get hungry and weak, and they have to feed on more flesh to stay young and beautiful, and etc. And also has to be stabbed through the heart. That's in this movie. I don't know if that's in other legends. But must be stabbed through the heart to die. So Needy's like, no, you can't do this. And Jennifer's like, yeah, well, I'm doing this. And there's also this moment while they're in the bedroom, and I'm almost to the kissing scene. So just hold on, hold your horses. Oh no, did Jess miss time? I'm sorry. Anyway, sorry. I just started reading the chat. I was not in the chat for a minute. But yes, okay. Felicia, what were you talking about just now? We're in the bedroom. We're still in the bedroom scene. Okay. We're in the bedroom. And they're about to, make out, basically. So Jennifer sort of seduces Needy, and they kiss for like a minute, and it's this interesting thing where, and this was something that I feel like they tried to use in the marketing of the movie of like, come watch Megan Fox like make out with a girl, but it's actually supposed to be this thing, which we already sort of talked about earlier, which is like very confusing time in your youth when you're learning about your own sexuality. You have like deep feelings for people that are unclear, and like I think Needy is, I mean, this is my interpretation. I think Needy is pretty much in love with Jennifer from the beginning of time. It's like Needy has always been obsessed with Jennifer and making her happy, being with her. And Jennifer like takes advantage of that in this moment in the movie. And then not only that, but she also starts to like, not like gaslight Needy, but sort of, because Needy is like, we have to like, I don't think she says I'm going to tell on you, but she says something to the effect of that. And Jennifer starts being like, basically telling her that she's crazy, that Needy's crazy, and basically letting her know that Jennifer has all the power here. Jennifer has the power because she literally has all this crazy demon power that's come into her, and she also has the power because no one's gonna believe Needy if Needy tries to do anything about it. Even Chip isn't gonna believe her later on. So it's like, yeah, she kind of has all the power, and now she's like seduced her in this other way, and it's just sort of this like, and that's the other interesting thing about teenage girls, which I think, I don't want to say just girls, also boys, definitely, that this movie captures really well, is the balance of power and how everyone is fighting for power. And when you're a teenager, you're just starting to learn what that game is. And I feel like teenagers can be much nastier about it because they, I don't know. I mean, we all want power, but I feel like you sort of grow out of that like nastiness of, well, some people do and some people don't, I guess. But okay, so after this, Needy finally tells Chip what's going on. He of course doesn't believe her, as Jennifer said, and Darling Darkness says she does gaslight her, but to be fair, she was sacrificed, so she gets a pass. A great point. A great point. And that is such a good point, honestly, because it's like, yes, in this, as we're talking about killer women this month, I forgot to even mention that's our theme for February. But even though Jennifer becomes the monster, Jennifer is the victim of the movie. So she is both. And that is going to happen in multiple movies that we talk about this month if the voting is the same as I saw this morning, which I will pull up for you guys at the end here. But okay, but we're almost to the end of the movie, so let's keep plugging along. So Chip doesn't believe her. Needy decides she's going to break up with Chip to protect him. She feels like Jennifer at this point is becoming very aggressive towards Needy. And Needy thinks the only way to protect Chip is to, like, get him away from her. So she does that, but it's right before the school dance. No! So they gotta go to prom. And this is also a great sequence of... Is this the sequence? I hope it is. Well, first of all, of course, we have Needy getting ready for the prom, wearing this outrageous pink dress, and her blonde hair just tall as the heavens. Excellent. No one would have worn that in 2009. I don't care. I think it's an amazing outfit. And then we have Jennifer, and correct me if I'm wrong, this might have been an earlier sequence or earlier scene, but when she's wiping the foundation on her face because she looks in the mirror and she looks terrible, and she's just like wiping the foundation down on her face, and there's something about that is like very, I wouldn't even say teenage, just like being a woman. And, you know, I keep using like strong gender names of men and women, and of course there's everything in between, and I'm just talking stereotypes for the sake of talking through this movie. But there definitely is something that I even experience now where it's like, if I feel like shit, and sometimes I do, and I look like shit, it's like if I like put on makeup and hide how I feel, I start to feel better about myself. And it's like a little trick that I can play on myself. And that's, I don't know, I think that's an interesting section in the movie for sure. But so they go to prom. Needy gets there, and Chip's walking there, and Jennifer intercepts Chip, seduces him, convinces him that Needy is in love with Colin, who's dead at this point, by the way, and starts making out with Chip. And Chip's like a little resistant, but mostly going along with it, and is sort of like, okay, I'll make out with Jennifer. This is fine. And she takes him to the giant abandoned gym pool or whatever, and that's where she's going to eat him. So she gets him in the water, and Needy at a certain point realizes what's happening and runs to try to save him. And then we finally have our great showdown in the pool, which I love this part. It's so iconic. And if you guys didn't know, or if you don't follow me on Instagram, I cosplayed as Jennifer in her prom dress for Halloween this year, and I did a pretty great job, if I say so myself. It's one of my favorite costumes I've done, for sure. I loved it. I love that costume. If you scroll down on my Instagram, you'll find it. I did a full photo shoot in a graveyard, because that's who I am. Okay. Anyways, so we have this big showdown. Needy comes in. Jennifer is mid-chomping on Chip's neck, and then we have so many iconic lines in this scene that I love so much. And now I think now's probably a good time. If you guys have favorite lines that you want to say, go ahead and put them here in the chat. My favorite is I'm going to eat your soul and shit it out, which I find very funny. And she says this after Needy is like Needy basically starts telling Jennifer that she's not relevant anymore, and that's why she's such a bitch. She's like, you were the snowflake queen 2 years ago. You have to use laxatives to stay skinny, blah, blah, blah. And Jennifer's like, I'm gonna eat your soul. It's like so freaking good. It's just such a great scene. But yeah, if you have favorite quotes, put them in the chat. I'll read them out loud. But so this big battle goes down. Chip ends up impaling Jennifer with a pool thingy, and she escapes. Okay. Darling Darkness for the first one. It smells like Thai food in here. Have you guys been fucking? She says that when she like comes over like very early in the movie. Does she say porking? One time she says porking. I can't remember when that is though. Yes, Rat Whisperer during the scene. She can fly. That's what Chip says. And he's like, she's just hovering. It's not that impressive. Mark, you're killing people. You're killing people. No, I'm killing boys. So good. Yeah, Ollie said after she gets stabbed, she asks Needy if she has a tampon. And then Needy says no, and she says something like, oh, I thought you'd be plugging right now or something. She's like, oh, I thought you were plugging right now. I don't know. It's just great. Let's see. Dark Angel. She's actually evil, not high school evil. It's great. That's when right before she's going to break little Chip's heart. But yeah, so at this point, we're about to the end of the movie. So after Jennifer escapes, Needy basically, it might be the next day, unclear, but she goes to Jennifer's home, breaks into her bedroom, fights Jennifer, who's also at a weak point right now. She hasn't like fed enough, and so she's looking pretty weak. And they kind of do this amazing thing where Needy's on top of her. She floats into the air. Needy stabs her in the heart with a box cutter of sorts, and Jennifer says, "My tit," and Needy says, "No, your heart." And Jennifer dies. And this sequence, it's like everything about this movie is so brilliant. But this sequence is also great because they have Jennifer's mom running into the room, which you never see. I feel like you like in slashers, it's like you never see like the parents like actually dealing with the grief of all these teenagers dying, as they tend to do in these kind of movies. And you see Jennifer's mom like running and like mourning over her daughter while Needy is just like sitting there like with blood all over her. It's like this really dark, interesting moment. Let's see, and then that's about it. And then we cut back to the asylum that she's in. And this is when we find out that through killing Jennifer, Needy has got some of Jennifer's demon abilities. Not everything, but she basically gets some of the powers. She gets some super strength. We see her levitate, which is really nice. I really like that part. And she then escapes the mental facility. And this is one of my favorite touches of the movie right here. Needy, so after she says she's killed Jennifer, she's been to asylum, she breaks out, and the thing she goes to do, which I just freaking love, she's a hitchhiker, sorry. She gets in this guy's car. He says, "Where are you going?" She goes, "I'm going here. I'm seeing this band called Low Shoulder." He's like, "Oh, cool." She's like, "Yeah, it's going to be their last show." And you're like, "Oh, Needy, what you gonna do?" And she gets there, and over the ending credits, we get to see that she murders all of them. And it is freaking awesome because it gives the catharsis that the movie really needs. And because, like, yes, it's like we killed the monster by killing Jennifer because Jennifer literally is the demon. But the monster of the movie is Low Shoulder. They are the evil ones. They are the ones that sacrificed Jennifer and made her into the monster that she became. And yeah, so it's just this great thing where Needy has to sort of sacrifice her friend to save all the rest of the boys in the town, and then she gets to go defeat the real monster, which is all those fucking assholes. So, hell yeah. I love it. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. And somebody mentioned it earlier in the chat, but I just want to say it again. I also just love the music in this movie. This movie is called Jennifer's Body. It's named after a Hole song. If you know Hole, it's the Courtney Love's band. They also provided another song for the movie. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Violet or In Violets, something like that. But the music in this is like really of the time, I will say. Like they really throw some MySpace tunes in there, some like indie rock stuff that is just like right, like that is such a specific time in America, like where all this was going on. Like right before like social media really like broke, and it's just I don't know, it's really cool. It's really cool. And I really like it. Okay, so I guess that's it. So if you haven't put your favorite quotes or your favorite kills, go ahead and put it in the chat. Oh yeah. Ollie has, "Hey Monostat, what up, Vagisil?" It's like, what? It's just outrageous, and I love it. I love it so, so much. Oh, hello, Tom. How you doing? How you doing? If I missed anyone that's been in the chat that I haven't said hi to, I'm so sorry. I'm saying hi to all of you in my heart. So I definitely do want to pull up our voting for the rest of the month. It looked pretty strong. Like, I'm pretty sure I know who it was, but maybe things have changed since now, so we want to just, make sure. If you don't know why you're here, this is Horror Movie Club, and we are doing Killer Movie this month. So you guys have all voted, and let's see what you got. What was I going to say? Can't remember. All right, we're loading. Oh yeah, and did someone say something about a sequel? Yeah, Jess said give us a sequel. I think there actually was talks of a sequel at some point, but I think it standing alone was the right call. All right, so let's see here. Ooh, it actually got kind of close, y'all. Okay, but it is what I thought it was. But we had one that was coming up hot. Okay, so our Killer Women movies of the month. So we have Audition, which is the Japanese torture movie, which I have been dying to see for a long time. Also a little nervous to watch, but I'm excited. So we're doing Audition, we are doing Misery, and we are doing Ma. So a new movie, exciting. I put Ma on one of my best of 2019 lists because I freaking love that movie. So good. I guess what we should do maybe is go in order of release date. I don't see why not. So let me pull up my calendar because one of these weeks is going to be on a Monday. Let's see. Oh, also thank you, Mimi, for the congrats. My guys, the subs are coming in recently. I've definitely been getting a lot more subscribers in the last couple months. Actually, I would say just mostly in January. I don't really know, but or like just yeah, I guess the last couple months. But it's really really exciting, and I kind of freak out about it all the time because I'm just so excited. Okay, to have new people and new friends. Okay, so February 11th, we're gonna be doing Misery, and then February 17th, that's a Monday, because on Tuesday I'm going to dinner with Travis and his family for Travis's birthday. So we're going to do it on Monday instead. I'm definitely going to email you guys about this. But we're also on the 17th, we're going to do Audition. And then on the 25th, we will be doing Ma. Octavia Spencer. Hell yeah. Ollie says, with Audition, you got to get through a bit of a drag at the beginning, but give it a chance. Noted. Oh, hello, Jason. What's going on? Yes, I hear the gore is brutal in Audition, and I am nervous to watch it. It took me like 10, 15 years to watch Hostel, so I'm definitely nervous about it. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited anyway. I'm excited to challenge myself to watch a horror movie that is out of my comfort zone. It'll be cool. But that's it, guys. Wow, 9 o'clock on the dot. Are you kidding me? Incredible. Before you go, I will let you say hi to Toby. Toby, come here. Toby. He has that I just woke up face. Did you just wake up? Look, that's from. I love when his face hair gets like, ugh, because he's like sleeping. But say hello. Ben, how have you not seen Misery? That's wild. I'm excited for you to watch it. I think you'll love it. I'm also reading the book right now. I should have said that. I am reading Misery right now. And also, this is like so random. So, this is a used book. And I saw in here, it had a name. And it says Patrick Spawn, Gaithersburg, Maryland, August 18th, 1987. And so, of course, I wrote my name and everything. But I was like, I got in this weird thing where I was like, I'm going to find this guy. I'm going to like find the guy who had this book and tell him I have the book now and I'm so excited. And so I tried to find him on Facebook and I spent like way too long, like literally an hour trying to track down this man. And I think I found his wife on Facebook. And so I added her and she did not accept my request. And I was like, I just want to tell your husband I have his book from the 80s. And I was like, I know this is crazy. I know it's crazy. But wouldn't that be so cool if I like connected with this random person that had this book like, 30 years ago? I just think that's cool. But anyways, I'm reading it now. I'm only 50 pages in, but I'm really enjoying it. It's reading a lot like the movie right now. Like it's reading so much like the movie, it's crazy. But I'm excited to finish it. I'm also reading this one at night. And when I read at night, I literally can only get through a few pages, and I'm just like, because I think like when I was little, I used to always read before bed as a way to like go to sleep. And so now as an adult, it's like I have to like read. Like I do read like on the subway. I listen to a lot of audiobooks now. But I feel like when I'm trying to like read for fun before bed, it's like I get through a few pages and I'm like, and it's like that's it. But yeah. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, sorry, you're talking about Castle Rock. I got so confused. You said it has a girl as a 20-year-old. I was like, what? But you're talking about Castle Rock. Yeah, yeah. Still haven't watched it. I know. There's so little time. Darling Darkness says, I found someone on Facebook from Canada who has exactly my name and she refused to friend me. That's funny. Anyways. So I guess that's it, people. Oh, I think I'm gonna watch. Let's see, I'm gonna watch a movie tonight. I might watch Parasite because I shockingly have not seen it yet. Like Travis like keeps laughing at me. He's like this like horror or horror adjacent. I don't know how much of a horror movie it is because I still haven't seen it. He's like it's nominated for Best Picture, all this stuff, and it's the only one you haven't seen. And I was like, I know, I don't know why. It's just like it came out and then like all these other movies started coming out. And I was just like, oh, I'll see it at some point. I'll see it at some point. And I just never got around to it. So I'm going to try to watch it tonight. But I have so many movies to watch. I'm also supposed to film tonight. Oh my God. I just realized how behind I am. Live and in person, just realized how behind I am on everything. But that's it. I'm going to get off of here, guys. But I thank you all so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. You all are awesome. My weirdos. You're the best. And watch Misery before next week. I'll tweet out the schedule and I'll send it in an email on Friday. But that's it, y'all. Have a nice scream. Adios.